what I discovered was that, the underground, the indie scene has been alive and well and thriving for a while, actually. I mean, architecture school has a lot to do with this, because a lot of the professors in architecture school and a lot of the people in the graphic design department, which is in the same building as the architecture department, were part of these bands. We're designing covers for these bands, we're designing posters, we're playing, so it was kind of like the right milieu to be in, to get introduced to this kind of music. And there wasn't really a very live music culture that I had been a part of or I had seen developing during that time. So it was just getting files on USB essentially and playing them on Winamp. And slowly starting to realize, okay, this little band is playing in a tiny little place in Mono back then, or early days of Gerges. So we would go watch them, we would go see what's going on. And it was really very small. Like you said, Facebook, I think AUB joined Facebook in 2005 or 2006. So it wasn't really big at all. There was no real sharing of culture or information. It was more just friends and photos and things like that. But what I discovered was that, the underground, the indie scene has been alive and well and thriving for a while, actually. And very quickly after that, met a bunch of like-minded people who also wanted to do music in Arabic, because that was a big thing for me at the time, which is I was kind of unsatisfied with the fact that most of my references, whether it's in music or in film or in architecture or whatever, were coming from abroad. When you're 19, when you're 20, you kind of start realizing, okay, I'm forming myself, I'm forming what informs my personality, who I am, and things like that. And I was unhappy about, I didn't want to just listen to the Beatles. I didn't just want to listen to whoever was on the charts and the global charts or the US charts or whatever. And so a bunch of us said, okay, yeah, we want to try and do something in Arabic. Those were kind of like the three pillars of the first time we got into a jam room and started playing music, which is we want to do something in Arabic, want to do something original, not cover music, because that's all I had been doing up until that point. I'd never written an original piece of music. And that we wanted it to be in the same vein as our architecture education, kind of like a workshop with no real bounds or limits or goals. It was, and I never really thought anybody would listen to any of the music that I was making and we were making at the time.